Carrigallen Mart is one of the oldest cattle marts in Ireland. It was established in 1969 and has been serving the farming community of Leitrim and the surrounding areas ever since. They hold auctions every week, heifers, bullocks, dry cows, sucklers and sheep every Monday evening, weanlings, suck calves and runners every Saturday. The Mart has built a reputation for providing high quality animals at reasonable prices to farmers.
Well, my name is Cathal Farley. I'm a native of Carrigallen, bred, born and reared here. And I started life on a small farm outside of the place. Funnily enough, it has the title Drumbrainless. Things were changing. Farmers wouldn't go stand on the street trying to sell their pigs. And I was talking to Father Patsy Young. He was a very progressive clergyman in this town, and he talked to John O'Neill, who was the general manager there in Killishandra Creamery, and from there they took the mantle on to the feasibility of a mart. And in the Killishandra Creamery general area and Carrigallen, there was a site procured in Carrigallen from Charlie Sheridan, and that site was very central to the main farming area of this region. And then we were close to the border, and there's an awful lot of northern customers coming down. And my input was buying, selling shares, getting people to buy shares, and we bought some ourselves. And this is the old memorabilia. There are a lot of the co-op members in it. From, you see the wide range from Newton Gore, Belturbet, Ahamore, Carrigan, Shannon, Peter Honeyman's name there, Peter Donald.
Hello, my name is Michael McIntyre. I'm an auctioneer here for the last 51 years. I remember the mart being opened here in 1970, and my father was a shareholder in the mart here, and I used to come in along with him to do business. And I worked here voluntarily when the mart was a building evening. That time they were trying to get the mart ready for operation, and they got in some volunteer workers to help with to speedy up the thing.
In the office, Rebecca, Helen and Ruth are busy dealing with farmers and their needs. Michael McGovern, Vice Chairman of the Golden Vale Group of Marts, tells us more about their philosophy here.
Our aim here in Carrigallen is to service the members, the shareholders and members that sell their cattle here. Our main role is to make sure that they have when they arrive here, that the service and facilities they find here is second to none, and we have buyers on the ground to buy their stock, and equally for the buyers that we have stock here for them to buy. So it's a chicken and egg situation, and I'm very pleased to say that it is working extremely well here in Carrigallen.
Brian Riley farms on the outskirts of Carrigallen and is a frequent visitor to the mart. Today he's bringing a number of sheep to the mart, and we spoke to him about all things farming.
Well, I suppose I could describe myself by saying that I know a little about a lot. I'm just going to bring one ram that's he's old. Farm's a little bit bigger than the war, so you know what I mean. Like people sold and moved on, and other people bought pieces of land, and no, and it'll be less too. But that's such as life. That's what happens. I mean, nothing stays the same.
Back at the mart, things are beginning to liven up. Before heading into the sheep ring, we asked Michael McIntyre about the number of sheep likely to be on sale today.
They'll go 70 or 80 lots of sheep, and there could be anything from 5, 10, 15 each lot. They'll go through the ring here tonight. So they will.
And what sort of prices are they? Are they up, down, the same?
Yeah, the sheep trade has improved a good bit. Yeah, the lamb trade has improved a lot. in the last month or two now, you know. Yes, well, let's say if they come in a pin of lambs there, good lambs there, I'd be looking for 170 or 80 euros for them, and I might get them opened at 140 and I go in twos then to get them up, and then we put them on the market, and they'd probably end up at 170.
Pádraig Gaffney and Brian Kiernan both work at the Mart.
Taking in the cows, getting numbers ready, getting lots sorted out, all that sort of crap, getting into the right pens. Same up on Monday night here as well.
And I take over then and put them into the ring and take them out of the ring.
Very good.
That's it.
What makes a Mart successful or not? Because a number of Marts have closed over the years. So what is it that drives that?
You have to have a good selection of cattle, and you've got a good selection of buyers to buy them.
Yeah.
Which is very important. If you haven't got the numbers of cattle and the right quality of cattle, well then you won't get the buyers, and you won't. Your sales will be down. So it's important. We are very lucky here because we have a lot of good farmers in the area and surrounding counties, and we have a good.
Why is it that there are no maids on the admin counter?
Because they're all busy in the yard, but they do pull into here when it's busy if needed. But most of the time it is us. But they're on the rostrum and they're doing the admin duties on the rostrum.
Is it unusual for a woman to be managing a Mart?
It's not. It was when I started first. But at the minute I'd say there are as many women managing Marts as men.
Oh, so it's a 50-50?
I'd say it's fairly close.
Would it?
I'd say so.
Right. And I presume that's because of your admin skills and all that sort of stuff, is it?
A lot of managers have come in as a secretary, and they know the whole runnings of it.
Right.
So that definitely helps.
Yeah. So what are buyers looking for in an animal?
Well, on this side of the Mart here, you have the dry cows of that. There's a spectacular red limousine cow there. She's well fleshed, good cover on her. Probably factories or agents will probably be buying the like of that cow there for slaughter.
And a likely price?
Which it depends on the boys round the ring. It depends on the boys round the ring, what sort of humour they're all in and how anxious they are for cattle. Yeah, I suppose on the fundraiser side of things there, we had Herbie Griffith sells some spectacular in-calf heifers. He has an annual sale every year here, and at the second sale before the last one, I think he had a heifer that he sold here, and he donated it to Cavan Monaghan Palliative Care unit for that. The heifer came into, I think it was something across €2,000. So it was a nice gesture from Herbie to do for a very, very good cause. I suppose then a few weeks ago there was a rare opportunity here. There was a flock of hens landed on the Mart, and our new auctioneer on the block for the last couple of years, Michael Riley, was selling a heifer, and when the hens came up around him, and I suppose it got huge media attention, and Michael composed himself very well when the ladies was around him to continue selling the heifer, and got a good price for the heifer, I think.
Folks, welcome to Farming Now on Hot Country TV. Micheál, this day was another day at the office. Can you tell us more?
Oh yeah, another day at the office, surely. Selling away a few heifers there, and a flock of hens arrived in, so it brought a good buzz around the place, lifted the trade, and sure, a bit of crack.
Very good. And what's your side of the story?
Well, we were on our way in from the Haggard out in Mart, Michael Masterson's place, and we were heading to Ballinamore for food. So we had a couple of the obligatory glasses of Prosecco out there, and maybe lost the run of ourselves when we seen all the vehicles outside the Mart, and decided we'd pop in and say hello.
Micheál, you seem to be doing a great job. A man under extreme pressure, but you kept on taking the bids. Were farmers bidding as normal, or were they laughing, were they tittering? What was the whole story?
Sure, women always put lads under pressure. But no, the lads got a big lift when the women came in, and sure, might have helped trade. It livened up the whole lot. A lot of lads' eyebrows raised and everything. They got excited too, so there was a bit of crack with the whole lot.
Very good, very good. And how did you, were you noticing them, how the farmers were reacting? It's a pity there wasn't a camera on them.
Oh, it's a pity. Most of them, they were taking it in good spirits, I think, the majority of them, yeah. There was some probably a little bit disappointed we interrupted a sale.
And folks, at the very end, and thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. And when is the big day? And can you tell us anything about the big day?
All going well. We're getting married up here at home on the farm in July. So.
All right. And will the whole thing be on the farm, Anne?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
No, well, we're getting married in a church just outside of town, and then we'll come back to the farm.
Very good. Very
good.
Are you full-time farmers, lads, or do you have to have another job to supplement?
We have to have another job.
Need another job.
You need several jobs.
Right. And what proportion of farmers here tonight, now, for instance, would be full-time farmers?
Well, we're in the ring. Well, I'd say about
maybe 20%.
Yes.
The older generation would, but the younger generation would all be working.
They're all working now.
There'd be no one young farming full time. They'd be working. Their parents would be doing the jobs at home, and they'd be helping out.
Yeah.
Not enough money to be made in full time farming for a young fella.
So you know the Mart and all that sort of stuff. You don't even have to be here to sort of buy an animal. Although I don't know whether it'd be advisable.
Yeah.
Would you buy an animal purely from Mart?
Well, I wouldn't have to because I'd be here, but...
Yes, but if you weren't, would you trust your eyes, or would you need to see the animal in the flesh?
I wouldn't, because I'm bad eyesight.
You're what?
I'm bad eyesight.
Oh.
Well, I've bought cattle online the last year or so, one or two, and you could get very lucky with them. I've got lucky with two cattle now, and I'm very happy with them.
But could you be more unlucky online than being here?
It could be 50-50.
50-50 either way?
Yeah.
Very good. And that's the future. So, in 30 years' time, God willing, how do you think farming will have moved on with all, you know, older farmers not able to run their farm, nobody to pass it on to, renting out, you know, young people, as you say, not interested in taking up the mantle. So where is farming going, do you think?
Probably forestry.
Forestry?
Forestry would be a big one, I'd say.
And is that purely for this location rather than the whole country?
No, I'd say the whole country, though.
Well, there's going to be more forestry anyway, but hopefully there will remain farmers, because if you had all forestry from here to then you'd have no people, you'd have no communities, you'd have no nothing.
Yes.
Everything will close down, football clubs, everything goes.
Breaks up communities.
Yeah. Brings up people.
And lads, is there anything else you'd like to add to that? As I'm horrid knowledgeable about farming, as you can imagine.
Well, the Mart is a social thing. People come here, they don't buy or sell, they come to see and meet people. People used to go to the pub, but they come here on a Monday night and a Saturday.
Very good point.
For the social end.
Every week.
They come down for an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, I was talking to that chap.
And come in and have a cup of tea with this nice lassie over here.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know that there's a chap there, Charlie Farrell, is it, in the town?
Yeah.
Like he's not even open. He's not even open tonight. So like in years gone by, I presume farmers would have gone down to the pub and had a few pints, but since COVID, is it, or even before that?
There might be still a few in it, but there wouldn't be with the rules of drinking and driving that it's cut down the people that don't take the chance.
Hello, Michelle.
Helen, how have things gone today?
Things went well. We had bullocks and heifers and dry cows in Ring 1, and they were a great trade. We had sheep in Ring 2, and they were also a good trade. So the sale is well on. We're at the dry cows now, and they're nearly over now.
what contributes to our success here in Carrigallen is the great management team led by Helen Kells and the staff. Each one works for the good of Carrigallen, works for the shareholder, works to provide a proper service that every person coming with cattle to and sheep to Carrigallen deserve the service and help and support of our staff, and certainly the staff gives that in abundance to our members, and we're very proud. I'm very proud as Vice Chairman to acknowledge our staff here in Carrigallen.
As Brian heads back for his evening tea and the sun begins to settle below the horizon, there is no doubt that Carrigallen Mart's commitment to quality and professionalism has earned it a well-deserved reputation in the region.
Brilliant.